Okay, welcome back, Autumn Poison team. Coming back with another tutorial. This is a charcoal and graphite pencil tutorial for drawing a nose. So let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy. So let's get it. Drawing a nose. Alright, so when I draw noses, I tend to, especially if you're drawing a nose from the front position, it's pretty simple if you do the Mickey Mouse method. Basically, you're going to draw 3 circles, one big circle in the middle, and 2 slightly smaller circles on the left and the right. This is going to give you the shape of the nose. It's going to allow you to properly shape what would be like your average nose. Obviously, some people's noses are a little bit bigger, like my own, and some people's noses are a little bit smaller. So when you're going more into like the context of like a specific person's nose, then you're going to want to, adjust some of those measurements. But this will give you like your basic typical nose that you can use for any drawing techniques and things like that to practice with. Okay, so I'm going to use a mechanical pencil here to highlight some of these stronger lines and get a little bit more precision in. I like to use a mechanical pencil for precision. It allows me, to get with more fine type details. So going back to the HB pencil, I'm gonna continue working on the outside of the nose and start adding a little bit more shading to the inside here. Alright, now I'm going to be using a blending stump. I like to use blending stumps for areas that are a little bit more tight closer. Blending stumps are really good for precision, but they can be a little heavy, so you got to be a little bit more careful with blending stumps, because if you're trying to go with some softer shading, the blending stump is definitely not going to be the tool you're going to use. So now back to the mechanical pencil. Now we're going to start shading the inside of this piece. I'm speeding up the video a little bit because shading can take a little bit of time, and yeah, I know it can get kind of boring after a while watching a whole bunch of shading going on. But I'm alternating between mechanical pencil, your HB pencil, 4B pencil, and then a couple different blending tools. I like to use a Q-tip as one of my blending tools because the Q-tip is very good when it comes to getting some smooth shading and getting some additional elements in there. So you see the bridge of our nose is starting to take form. Obviously, I leave the middle of the nose lighter because that tends to be an area that is always got a light shadow cast. And now we're just adding a little bit more color correction to some areas, adding a shadow underneath the nose. Going back to this, the Q-tip, I'm gonna shadow some more. Now we're gonna add some highlights with my eraser. This is a really good eraser because it's a fairly soft eraser, so it's not going to be really super sharp highlights. As you see me use a larger brush, that larger brush is definitely really good when it comes to shading everything over. Now we're going to go back over with your charcoal. This is a 2B charcoal pencil. As you can see, it adds a heck of a lot darker contrast, separating the nose from the rest, certain angles of the nose from the rest of the nose, and then going with a sharper brush to help develop some of those areas. Now we're getting some darker elements in here. I like to reinforce any of the charcoal elements and charcoal shading with a 2B pencil. It allows me to get a lot smoother shading, and that's pretty much the gist of it. Keep reinforcing. Other than that, I hope you guys liked my tutorial. Stay tuned for the next one.